For 18 months, everyone called it Universal Studios UK. They were wrong. The official name is Universal United Kingdom Resort, and that single word, resort, changes everything about what is being built in Bedfordshire. 5 overlooked details tell the real story mainstream coverage missed, and we are counting them down to the one unresolved question that could define the entire project. Starting with the name itself. In the 5th place, the official name, Universal United Kingdom Resort, sets out a vision that goes far beyond the expectations carried by the placeholder Universal Studios UK. That single word, resort, signals a destination designed for scale and longevity, not just a one-day theme park. Universal Studios typically conjures the image of a single-gate attraction, somewhere you might visit for a few hours or perhaps a day trip from London. By contrast, Universal United Kingdom Resort is built around the idea of a multi-gate, multi-hotel, multi-day complex, inviting guests to stay for extended visits. This ambition is anchored in the physical reality of the site at Kempston Hardwick in Bedfordshire. The former brickworks covers 540 acres, with planning documents confirming the potential to expand to 700 acres as the project develops. That is a land bank on par with the world's marquee destination resorts, and it's no idle promise. Construction officially began in January 2026, meaning this is already a live build, not a speculative proposal. The name, the land, and the shovel-ready status combine to reveal Universal's intent to create a British destination of national and even continental significance. It's a detail that slipped past most headlines, but it forms the foundation for every strategic decision that follows. Number 4. The money behind Universal United Kingdom Resort reveals a reality more complex than the headlines suggest. The much-quoted £7.3 billion figure is not a single government cheque, but a carefully structured blend of private and public investment. Comcast, the parent company of Universal, is responsible for the lion's share, £5 billion committed to construction and a further £1 billion allocated for operations over the first 10 years. The government's £1.3 billion contribution is strictly ring-fenced, reserved for infrastructure that serves both the resort and the wider community. Not a penny of public money will fund rides, hotels, or any core resort asset. Instead, this funding is earmarked for new road links, rail upgrades, utilities, and community facilities, all designed to handle the anticipated surge of 8.5 million visitors a year once the doors open in 2031. This distinction matters. It reframes the project as a privately financed destination, with public support focused on unlocking broader regional benefits rather than subsidising corporate entertainment. The employment impact is immediate and far-reaching. Jobs total 20,000 during the 5-year construction phase, and 8,000 permanent positions once operational, with the majority earmarked for local residents. The government's own projections anticipate a £50 billion economic uplift by 2055, driven by tourism, supply chain activity, and new local spending. By separating infrastructure from the core resort spend, the funding model avoids the pitfalls of past mega projects and anchors the resort as a catalyst for long-term regional growth, not just a new theme park, but an engine for economic transformation. Coming to the top 3, the politics of Universal United Kingdom Resort mark the moment when a corporate venture transforms into a matter of national consequence. The official announcement on the 3rd of June 2026 did not unfold at a trade fair or in a boardroom, but at 11 Downing Street, the heart of government decision-making. Chancellor Rachel Reeves and Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy stood alongside Comcast Chairman Brian Roberts and Universal Chief Executive Officer Mark Woodbury, underscoring that this was not simply a business deal. The presence of these senior figures and the language used throughout the event reframed the project as a national investment in Britain's future. Reeves highlighted the £1.3 billion infrastructure pledge, while Nandy spoke of creative industry growth and cultural opportunity. The symbolism of Downing Street, combined with official projections of 8.5 million visitors a year and 28,000 jobs across construction and operation, gave the announcement a stature usually reserved for major public works. This political staging raised the stakes across the leisure sector. For Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, the arrival of a Universal-branded destination backed by government support signals a new era of competition, one that extends far beyond the UK, with Disneyland Paris now facing a direct rival for European tourism. Yet the national framing also sharpened local concerns. Residents near Kempston Hardwicke voiced worries about traffic congestion, noise, and the strain on schools and health services. The Special Development Order, which bypassed the usual local planning process, became a flashpoint for debate, with opponents questioning whether national priorities should override local interests. In this context, Universal United Kingdom Resort stands as both a symbol of British ambition and a test of how the country balances growth, community, and identity in the age of destination megaprojects. Number 2. The silence around intellectual property at the Universal United Kingdom Resort announcement stands out as a calculated move rather than a gap in planning. On 3 June 2026, no themed lands were confirmed, no franchises were named, and not a single attraction was listed in official statements. This absence drew immediate attention, with BBC reporting pointing to James Bond and The Lord of the Rings as likely candidates, while fan speculation quickly expanded to include Jurassic World, Minions, Back to the Future and Paddington. Yet Universal offered no confirmations, no concept art, and no hints beyond the broad promise of immersive storytelling. This restraint is not accidental. By withholding details, Universal preserves its negotiating leverage with rights holders and maintains flexibility as licensing talks continue. More importantly, every future reveal, whether it is a Bond ride or a Tolkien-inspired land, can command its own news cycle, stretching public anticipation across the years of construction. In the American and Japanese parks, phased announcements have proved to spark repeated surges in media interest and ticket sales. Here, the silence becomes a tool, not a liability. Each new intellectual property, when finally disclosed, will have the power to dominate headlines and shape public expectations all over again. Rather than a lack of readiness, the silence signals a long-range strategy, one that transforms the biggest visible gap in the announcement into a steady engine of momentum for the resort's build-up to 2031. And finally, in first place, the UN-resolved question of Harry Potter cast the longest shadow over Universal United Kingdom Resort. Despite years of speculation, no agreement has been reached to bring the Wizarding World to Bedfordshire, and the reasons are as much about business and geography as they are about magic. The Warner Brothers studio tour London at Leavesden, just 30 miles from the resort site, already attracts millions of Potter fans each year. Since December 2025, Warner Brothers Discovery, now under Netflix ownership, holds exclusive rights to Harry Potter for theme park use, making any potential deal with Universal a complex negotiation, not a foregone conclusion. The stakes are enormous. In Japan, the opening of a Harry Potter land lifted attendance at Universal Studios by 40%. In Hollywood, the first quarter after Potter's debut saw a 60% surge in visitor numbers. These are not marginal gains, they are market-shifting events, and they explain why Universal's 8.5 million year one target is so closely watched. Without Harry Potter, the resort must rely on other franchises to drive demand, and no other property has proven to deliver the same transformative effect on attendance. The proximity of Leavesden complicates matters further. Industry analysts warn that two major Potter attractions operating in the same region could dilute the brand, potentially undermining both experiences. Yet the absence of Potter leaves a gap that no other IP can easily fill, especially as Universal continues to keep its themed lands under wraps. With the resort's opening scheduled for 2031, time is running short for any breakthrough. The question remains whether a deal can be struck that satisfies Warner Brothers, Universal, and the broader British tourism market, or whether Universal United Kingdom Resort will have to redefine what success looks like without the world's most bankable wizard. In the end, the Harry Potter question is not just a licensing issue, it is the single highest stakes variable for the future of the entire project, shaping everything from attendance forecasts to the competitive balance of Britain's new destination resort. Across every detail, one pattern stands out. Universal United Kingdom Resort isn't just a theme park, it's a national statement. In Bedfordshire, £7.3 billion signals Britain's arrival as a global leisure force. The unresolved questions aren't gaps, they're leverage. This is the new scale of British ambition,